Hi there, it's Tiffany from Daisy Farm Crafts, and today I'm going to do a tutorial for you for this really beautiful checkerboard blanket. It's a very basic half double crochet. I will do a little tutorial for this border for you. We're going to be using front and back post double crochet. I think you're going to be really happy with how even your border will turn out, and it just was so much fun to make, and just such a modern giftable baby blanket. So I'm using Bernat Softy Baby Cotton. You will need 3 of these of a darker color or whatever color you want for the border. It takes 1 skein for the border and 2 of these for the main blanket. And so I used, this is feathered gray and cream. For the demonstration, however, I'm going to be using the pool green, and I think this one's called Aqua Mist, just so you can see the yarn color a little bit better. And I am using a G4mm hook. So let's get started. So the pattern repeat for this blanket is 6 times any odd number plus 1 for the turning chain. So the reason why you want it times an odd number is so that you begin and end the row with the same color. So I'm starting out with the darker of the 2 colors, and I am going to multiply 6 times 5 and then add 1. So that will give me 31 chains. So if you want to I really recommend doing a sample with me if this is the first time you're learning how to carry yarn and working this checkerboard or gingham. I have a lot of gingham patterns, but it's essentially the same. You just would be switching colors after 4 rows, but this we're gonna just be switching between the 2 colors. So get 31 chains made. So we'll begin right away in the 2nd chain from the hook with a half double crochet. So, and this is up to you. If you like to chain 2 and turn on your half double crochets, then add 1 more chain. But lately I've been liking to just chain 1 and turn with my half double crochets. So we are going to work 6 half double crochets. Now on this 6th one though, I want you to yarn over, pull up a loop, and then stop right there. Keep this color to the front of you, towards you, to the front of the work, I like to say. And we are going to add in this aqua color. So to add in, I'm just simply laying the new color over the hook and pulling it through. Now keep that tail to the back, and as you work the next 6 stitches, you're going to work into the top of the chain and underneath that dark colored yarn. We're carrying it along the row. This first row is probably going to be your trickiest row just to get it started, but after this, you should be fine. So we will work another 6 stitches. And on this 6th stitch, now it's very important that you keep the light color to the back of your work and give this dark color a little bit of a tug before you yarn over and pull it through. Giving it a little bit of a tug will help it lay flat against the row, and you won't be able to see the carried yarn. Okay, so now I am working underneath that top loop, and I'm carrying the light color along the row. And again, just working the 6 stitches. And let's remember this time, before we pull through with the new color, I'm going to make sure this dark is pulled to the front of my work. We're keeping the yarn from twisting when we do this. Give this one just a little bit of a tug, make sure it's laying flat, and then pull through. And now the dark green can lay along the row as we make the next 6 stitches. Keeping the light color to the back of my work, giving this a little tug, pulling through. All right, we are to the final 6 stitches. And on this 6th stitch, we're not going to change color. We have some more rows to make. So we'll just yarn over, pull through, chain 1, and maybe just give it a little bit of a looser chain. Turn your work like a page in a book. And we are going to wrap this light color around the back of the work so it's there for us to work under. So if you can see this, I'm working underneath the top 2 loops and underneath that carried yarn, then yarning over, pulling through, just like that. And you can give that just a little bit of a tug, make sure it pulled along nicely. And here we are, dark yarn to the front before you pull through with the light color. All right, you're going to continue with your switching of colors for 4 rows, and then I'll meet you back and we'll do the next section. So this is what it should look like when you have your 4 rows. And now I am going to, after this 4th row, now we pull through with the light color and chain 1 and turn. And it really is just the same as before. We're going to wrap the dark color around and start working our half double crochets under the top 2 loops and also under the yarn being carried so that it's there for us on the other side after we do our 6 stitches. Okay, so I'm going to work on this until I get a nice square, and then I will demonstrate how I did the border. So when you're making the blanket, you want to end on a odd number of blocks so that you have the same color. So my original blanket was 23 times 6 plus 1, and that turned out to be a 36 by 36 inch blanket. And then I just made it, I guess what I say is 23 blocks high, whatever, that would be 23 times 4. So here we are at the last. So when you're finished with your blanket and you've ended on a row that's a dark color, I went ahead and just cut the light color off because I wanted my border in the darker color, and pulled through with the dark color. Now at this point you can also weave in all of your ends if you'd like to, but I'm just going to go ahead and get started on the border. We don't need to turn or anything. Let's just go ahead and work 2 stitches into that final space, like so. And the thing I do love about, sorry, come on, there we go. When you are working a checkerboard like this is that these are essentially square. So we know that 6 stitches across equals 4 rows. So when we work on the side, we need to get 6 half double crochet across these 4 rows. So what I like to do is go ahead and work 3 half double crochets every other row. And that makes sure, it did a really good job for me of making sure I had a good even amount of stitches along the border here. And I also liked that it looked very, very neat. And I'll show you on the finished blanket what I mean. So work 3 half double crochets at the end of one row, skip a row, and work 3 half double crochets into the next row. Let me show you what that looks like. So if you can see on this blanket is what I did. Here's your row of 3 half double crochets all the way around the blanket. And it just really, they all line up and it looks so nice and neat. Here's what the first side looks like. And so when you get to the corner, just put another 3 half double crochets there in the corner. And to go across the bottom, what you're going to do is skip 2 stitches. And I just look at the bottom side of the stitches and work 3 into the next. So on the bottom, you're going to skip 2, work 3, and then put 3 half double crochets in this corner, work the side the same way, and work across the top in the same way, 3 in the corner, skip 2, 3, and I'll meet you back when we get to the original starting corner. When you have reached the last corner, and you can see the 3 stitches that we started with, or here's the last stitch of that of this row right here, and then we did 2 more and started our way down. I want you to find that right here, and this is the start of our next round and our next corner. So we don't need to join or anything. We're just going to keep it going, but we're going to do a half double crochet, chain 2 half double crochet for the corner on this one, not just 3 half double crochets. Okay, and now on this round we are working 1 half double crochet into each stitch around. And when we get to the center half double crochet of each corner, we will work half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. So we just have a little bit of an adjustment for the corners. This round is getting us ready before we do the post stitching. When you finish this round, you stop just before you see that half double crochet, chain 2. So this is the start of the next round. So I've worked my corners, I've got all my half double crochets done. So we will start with some front post and back post stitching. So we work a front post double crochet, and then we're going to work our first corner, and it will be double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and that is worked around the chain 2 of the previous round, that corner spot, that's our corners. And since we worked front post, we'll start working front post down this side. So we worked front post, now we will work back post and alternate these going down the side. And when we get to the chain 2 spaces, work that corner stitch, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And I'll pop back on for the next round. I want to make sure that you are still working the half double crochet posts from the previous round, even these corner ones. And now I'm to the chain 2. So that's where I do double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and I like to always match whatever this last one was. So it was a front. I'm going to go ahead and now make this one a front. If it would have been a back, I would have made that one a back. But all right. So if that happens on the other rounds, you'll know what to do. Okay, so I'll work all the way around to here, and then we're going to do something a little bit different. On this round, we are going to, usually I do my double crochets in the same direction on the second round of the post, and it kind of makes a lined up ribbing look. And this time I wanted to do it differently, and I went opposite. So I am still, here's the start of the next round. Work your corner here with double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And then on this next one, since what I mean by is like, if this was a front post, I would still make this a front post, but I'm going to do this opposite. So I'm going to start with a front post, and when I see a front post, I'm going to work it back post. And when I see the back post from the row below, the previous row, I'm going to work it as a front post and pop it through. I thought it gave it kind of more of a, just an alternating ridged look, kind of, instead of my traditional ribbing look. Just trying to change it up a little bit. And I did like the result. And I just wanted to honestly work 2 rounds of the ribbing. And usually, or this stitch, and if I do ribbing, I usually like to do more rounds to really get the lined up look. So you can choose either way, but I just thought this looked really great. Okay, so same exact thing for the corners around those chain 2 spaces. Work your double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And after you finish this round, we will work a round of single crochet. I'm here at the end of the second round, and so this is as wide as I wanted the border. You are free to continue going if you want. So I will go ahead, work that final stitch, and now I am going to just start working single crochets. And if you want to mark this first one, if you get confused, you can. We're going to be ending the round there. I also liked to only work 2 single crochets around those chain spaces and work 1 single crochet in the top of each stitch. and work all the way around, and I will slip stitch to the very first single crochet and tie off. So that will be our final round. I am to the very first starting single crochet, so I'm just going to do a simple slip stitch and tie this off, and then of course weave in the ends. So I hope this has given you enough of a little practice before you go and make the entire blanket, and I hope it goes well for you. So like I said, here's the blanket. I measured it. It's about 36 by 36. So nice. And I really enjoyed using the Bernat Softy Cotton for this. Just so cute. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Come and show us your work in the Daisy Farm Crafters group on Facebook if you would like. I'm sure we have 90,000 people in the group now, and they all share their variations on the Daisy Farm Crafts patterns, and it's really fun and inspiring to see. So anyway, I invite you to do that if you'd like, or just simply tag us at Daisy Farm Crafts on Instagram, and we're happy to share your work up into our stories as well. So you have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time.